Dr. Kim Makoi,
Yeah,
welcome to the show.
thank you.
So, I do want to center this just around transgenderism because it's a
Yeah, of
subject
course.
I have not been exposed to much. So, if you could
Mm.
just define it, and then we'll get into it from there.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously, I can only speak for myself, really. But transgender, I think that word covers such a big spectrum, So I guess that word would just mean the idea of people who are crossing over the distance between whatever the expectation was. You're born a certain way. They look at you, it's a boy, it's a girl. And then through your life, if your expression like leans to the other direction, I guess that would be most broadly speaking what the transgenderism would be.
So, your physical attributes, your male genitalia, female genitalia. So, you're saying mentally you feel the other way? Do you like
Um,
that?
I feel like it's more complicated, because I was born a girl, so I still have female plumbing or whatever. But and when you're a little kid, really little kid, you
So,
don't
you were born a female?
yeah.
So, with XX chromosome?
Yep, I still have my XX chromosome.
Okay, so how'd you get a beard?
The magic of testosterone.
Okay, testosterone, like TRT replacement.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's like, not everybody who takes testosterone is gonna get a beard, because again, that's genetics, right? So whether you're I feel and this is my theory, if you're born, XX or XY or whatever, you still have all kinds of DNA blueprint in there,
Yeah,
right?
you can't change your chromosomes. Yeah.
Right. So if I'm on testosterone now, it's like turning on switches that had been dormant. So in my DNA, you know, there's that propensity for the beard. So that would be, probably from my Scottish
So
people
let's
or
say
whatever.
you stop taking testosterone.
Yeah.
Would you revert back?
It wouldn't go back all the way, because testosterone is a lot stronger than estrogen. So like my hair wouldn't grow back here. I would probably thin a little here, but it wouldn't go all the way, because also I'm almost 52 years old. So you know, heading towards where hormones would be slowing down anyway. So it's not like I would magically turn into, um, you know, a girl anymore.
I see.
So, so as I was saying, like, when you're a little kid, you're not like, oh, I feel like I'm a girl. I feel like a boy. It's not that clear. You're just yourself. And it doesn't a problem doesn't really appear until later, when society or whatever is pushing against you, and you're like, oh, I don't feel right. Like this isn't matching
Give
for
me an
me.
example of that. How does society push against
Well,
genders
I
or
mean, even things like
sex?
well, like something as simple as like, in kindergarten, for example, right? So you just make friends with whoever your friends are. So and I leaned towards making friends with the boys, because it just made sense. I just identified with them. I liked what they were playing and things like that, and so I would hang out with them. Those were my friends. But then, mom or whatever would be like, no, you're a girl. You have to wear these stupid shoes, these slippery shoes that are not, make you fall down on the playground. You have to wear, you have to wear this the dress. And it just it felt like a punishment. Like why do I have to do this? It didn't make any sense. So just something as simple as like, what can a kid wear, or what games can they play, or get in a line with your friends, and you're just with your friends, and then somebody says, oh, no, you go in that line.
I mean, okay, so let's on a superficial level, yeah,
Yeah,
clothes who you're friends with,
yeah,
sure. But how does that get to a point where you feel that you have to inject hormones to alter yourself?
yeah,
Like, that
yeah.
seems
So
like a
that's like
stretch.
it seems like it, but um I think, just as you get older, things get a little, when you're really really little, it's like, okay, this is just confusing, this is a minor annoyance, whatever. um but as you get older, it just becomes more a little more complicated. Like, you can't tell, again, you don't know what's going on, but something just doesn't feel right. Or even if you're in a relationship with another person, it just, something's wrong, like, you'll be with, yeah, you'll just be with a partner, let's say,
Okay,
I was I,
let's use that one. I mean,
yeah,
you're a female, um, let's say Orthodox, you have a male partner, but then
sure.
you feel like that's wrong and you'd rather have a female partner. Like, what's the difference between you altering yourself and just being lesbian?
Well, I was never attracted to women, really. I was always attracted to primarily to men.
Okay, okay.
So then it was like, well,
So,
what's the problem?
okay.
Just be good, and
So I guess a partner doesn't really play into
it
you
doesn't really
choosing
play in
this.
because
Okay.
something is off, like being with the partner, it messes with them too, because they feel like something's off. They feel like something's not right. Like the interactions, like they're not getting, like, you look okay to them. You're like, okay, I'm attracted to this person, but there's just something's just off in the interaction. It's hard to explain. It's kind of like if you, let's say there's like a magical universe um where like some guy could just like, magically pop into like a woman body, and now that woman, you go on a date with that woman, something will be off. You know what I mean? Like it's like, even if the body is perfect and she acts perfect, like something's off. So it just
Do you have a
it
partner right
was
now?
um right now I'm single.
You're
Yeah.
single. Okay. Have you ever been in a relationship that you enjoyed?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay. What was the sex of that
Yeah.
person?
That was male. Yeah.
Male. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, um, I've been in relationships where I've enjoyed the relationship as long as they had an understanding of who I was. Because then it didn't seem so weird anymore. Like even before taking hormones, it just didn't seem weird. And in terms of like the hormones or the body altering or whatever, it I don't think it's that much stranger than anyone else who, takes like an antidepressant, or some people will like fix their nose or whatever, and they feel better about themselves. Like these days, um, it doesn't seem like that much different than that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, I feel like hormone alteration is a little different than taking an antidepressant
Well, it
or maybe a nose job, like
depends.
you mentioned.
Yeah, I think it depends on the person, and what they're going through,
Okay.
Like, if um and that's kind of where this like fuzzy area comes in about, the medicalization of it, right? So hormones, yeah, it is pretty serious. Like, you shouldn't just be able to walk into a random office and be like, um I want hormonal alteration. Like it is a big change to your body. So that's where there does need to be some, gatekeeping, whatever you want to call it. That's where like the medical part comes in, where there needs to be like a licensed physician evaluation. Like, is this person sane? Like, what's going on with this person? How, is it a big enough deal that we have to do this, or what's really going on? So I do agree that it's a big deal, but if you just like zoom the lens back from just like a medical treatment, whatever perspective, if that's the person's problem, and then the solution is simple, then that's that.
So another question I got. Let's say,
Sure.
okay, so when you were young, friends uh
Mhm.
clothing. So what age did you start to feel like you were like a man trapped in a woman's body, as they say?
Um, I would say I started feeling like that probably around 4, but I didn't have any language for it
Okay. So before
until
the age of
around
4, is there anything that happened or anything that you can pinpoint that could be the cause?
no, I don't think so.
Mm.
Again, like I said, I didn't notice anything until, till like
So
4
is
is
this
when you
like
go
an
pre
inborn thing that, like,
is it what?
is it inborn? Like God made a mistake and just
I
gave you the,
wouldn't
like, I'm just trying to find the cause. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't believe in, like, mistakes, like, I wouldn't say, like, God made a mistake. I do believe that it tends to be, it's a genetic there's a genetic component, because I
How
think it
so?
I feel like it lumps in with, homosexuality or whatever where, yeah, you're just born with a certain way, and I feel like this, I'm not a scientist, so this is my idea, but I know that it happens in animal populations, and when it does, I feel like there's some kind of environmental pressure or some kind of, natural pressure that makes it happen. So I don't know what that is, and I don't know why it's happening. It seems to be happening more lately, but I feel like people are just born with certain tendencies. So I don't know why it happens, but I do think that it's just an inborn thing most of the time.
Okay. I'm going to address your comment on packing this together with the lesbian and gay community
Mhm. Sure.
because uh, the whole reason that gay marriage was legalized was because there was an argument that who you're attracted to is hardwired in when you're born.
Mhm. Sure.
And then we've already established that who you're attracted to, like in your specific case,
Yeah.
didn't have anything to do with how you're feeling.
Right.
So I feel like transgender should be in a completely different category than lesbian and gay. So like the T
Mhm.
LGBTQIA plus, the T should not be in there.
I'm not really a categories kind of,
Okay.
expert kind of person. Like, I don't know. Some trans people are gay, some people aren't.
So it has nothing to do with sexuality.
No, no, because some trans people are attracted to whoever they were before they transition. Some people flip, some people it's one way, some people
Okay.
it is completely independent. I
I
would
see.
say sure. It's independent.
I see. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
The
but
other thing,
the reason
sorry,
I
go
think the reason they're part of the rainbow coalition there is because even if they might be different, if you want to get down to like the DNA or whatever, they're subject to the same kind of like uh, threats or violence or prejudice, whatever. I think in that sense they're in that same kind of
okay, even
grouping,
discrimination
but
against them.
sure, yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, sure, it could be a different if we're talking where does it come from or whatever, you know? Yeah, it's a different circuit, sure.
So we established that sexuality doesn't really play a part in this. What other
Right.
societal pressures do you think evoked you into such a life course?
I think maybe because in this society there's no special place for someone who's trans, like, there's some societies, I guess there's certain, like, Asian societies or some indigenous societies where
What kind of
someone was
accommodations should
born
you have?
just being able to just be who you just identify who I mean, clothes seems like such a superficial thing, but just even something like that, like, yeah, I don't it's hard to exactly
Nothing
pinpoint.
besides clothes.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's like the easiest external thing, but it's just like, yeah, it's hard to pinpoint, but like, I feel like if let's say if we said, okay, fine, this society, yeah, we'll let people wear whatever clothes, and that's the end of it. Um, but it wouldn't really be okay if people who were born male, if they did dress as women or whatever, and like it's like that wouldn't be embraced. People wouldn't be like, "Oh, yeah, that's great." Um, like it wouldn't really work in this particular society.
So
People,
before you started taking testosterone, were you ever
yeah,
have like what discrimination have you come across? What has happened to you specifically?
it's it's hard to say because before I transitioned, I actually didn't feel like I was discriminated against, and
So
before
you
I
feel like
transitioned,
society had absolutely no effect or did nothing. This is completely by your own thoughts and actions.
well, it's it's hard to explain. It's because it's a little bit like, how like anorexics like look in the mirror and they see like a fat person even though they're so skinny, and that's happening in their head, right? So it's like, and again, I can't speak for
Right,
all
and
trans people, but
anorexia is
like,
a mental. It's a eating disorder. It's a
right, right,
mental play.
sure, sure. So I would look in the mirror and it wouldn't look like me. Like I knew it was me, but it was a similar, I hate to use the word dysphoria, but maybe, but yeah, sure, like a dysphoria. Like I would look like it just, it didn't look like me. Like I would squint sometimes and I would try to see me. I'd like squint like, where am I? And then if I squinted enough, I could kind of see me and it would look like
So there
it
was
would look like the
something
male version,
unorthodox
but
going on in your mind,
yeah, yeah, yeah. But if I looked, it just wouldn't look like me. And whereas
like a
like
disorder of
now,
some kind.
yeah, whereas like now, and I look in the mirror, it I have no problem. I see like, oh yeah, that's me. And even though, objectively, this me is probably, less attractive than that me, um, I don't have that dysphoria feeling. It feels like, oh yeah, there I am. Whereas before it was like it's just uncomfortable, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was that was so uncomfortable because objectively I wasn't being treated badly that I could tell, but something was off. And then when I made the switch, it felt normal. I felt like, okay, I feel like myself. I look in the mirror, I see myself, I feel like myself, and
So
it's like, mhm,
before your transition, on
yeah,
a mental level, you felt different, and we've established it was kind
yeah,
of dysphoria.
yeah, something
So
was
this
wrong.
it's a mental disorder.
I mean, if you want to say it like that, like, again, like
I mean,
no
it's
one
where
wants to
we're
be like,
at.
I have a disorder. But yeah, where we're at, like, yeah, sure. There was a problem, and it didn't I couldn't solve the problem. I dressed like a man, I had short hair, whatever, but there was something wrong. And like until I got this like, medical solution, like it didn't feel right. So,
So getting TRT and all the attributes that come with it, the beard, muscle growth,
mm,
attributes that you can have, besides changing your genitalia, that changed you mentally and that allowed you to be that person. I see.
yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Gotcha, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of weird, like before I transitioned, I was very like, pretty like conservative leaning in a lot of ways, and I felt like, I was not a feminist by any means. I always thought that like those feminists or whatever, like I was like, they are so, overblowing it. And what is their problem? Misogyny is not a
You're the
thing. And like,
feminists?
I thought that, yeah,
Okay.
back then. But like when I transitioned, I r- I I realized that is it is a thing because I was treated so much better. Like I never thought I was treated badly as a woman,
Can you give me an
but I was
example?
treated, oh my god, just anywhere, like random, like when I'm renting a car, like I never got treated badly as a woman. It was whatever. But But now it's all, "Hey, bro, can I upgrade you for free?" And you're like, "Oh, okay." Like, just, like, random
That
things
didn't
like that
happen when
or,
you were a woman.
no, never, never, never. Or, yeah, just people, yeah, a lot in sales situations, sales, customer service. I get way better customer service. People are always like, "Oh, sir, can is there anything else I can do for you?" Like, it's just so much better treatment as a man, and even women treat me better. Like, women are mean to women, apparently, like, women treat me better, like, everyone treats me better, so, I thought that was like, wow, that's interesting, and I also realized that a lot of things that I thought were socialized are actually, chemical. So it sort of made me realize that, like, that gulf between men and women, like, they'll never understand each other because it's almost like they live in parallel universes. Like, um, just perceptions, it's just different.
I see.
Yeah. So I feel like it's made me a more compassionate human being too, but also, like, more compassionate, but also less optimistic that people will understand each other.